pregnant belly. Now, this is much more fun and entertaining than anything Constance Sue or any of the fucking losers has to say. Because the reality of the matter is, listening to that tape, obviously Rap had a wellness check called in on him. Now, a wellness check is not a false report of a 911 call. So they are so full of shit they float, and Rap has basically robbed his community for video game money. Whatever. Constance Sue and them can believe whatever they want.
Belly, you like my pregnant belly right there? Take a good look at it. Right there, you see that?
I don't care what you believe. But the fact of the matter is I listened to that, and it obviously was not a 911 call.
Got it. Because it's the last time you're going to see anything from me. I figure since I'm out here right now, talking and doing a lot of talking and fucking,
But one thing that everyone can clip right now, anything that is an actual.
That's about, oh, yucky.
I mean, look at his whole life. It's been about manipulating women to get what he wants.
Extravaganza thing where there were famous wrestlers there. He screwed them all over and didn't pay any of them. Diamond Dallas Page was one of them. I'm glad you brought that up because I looked into that and I called Officer Rose that worked the security for that, and he still works at Bluefield. Is it Virginia, West Virginia? I can't remember now, but I'll put it on my community tab. Officer Rose still works there, and he's on desk duty now, and he loves to tell the story. So if anybody wants to call him up, he loves to tell the story about how Ernie Shell made this big promotion, was supposed to give away a big screen TV. Yeah. He was supposed to give away all these prizes and throw stuff into the prizes. He had Diamond Dallas Page. Oh, my gosh. April, the Heart guy. Oh man, bunches of them. And the guy that was there with him and said, "Hey, I don't think this guy has the money to pay." What happened was Ernie was betting on the come, and he had all this money.
Okay. Now, once again, this is ancient Ernie lore. I mean, I couldn't imagine right now doing a live stream and it's like, let's go out over all of Ernie's ancient sins. I mean, as a YouTuber, as a creator, I don't do that. If it's relevant to rehash old stuff or to bring someone up to speed, it's worth doing a circle around. But you see what she's doing. I mean, this is like the stuff against Truthfully Trisha. They take stuff from ancient times at this point and try to make it sound like it happened last week.
Put this wrestling thing on. And he thought, well, he could spend the money however he wanted to, and then he would just collect the money for ticket sales, and that's how he paid wrestlers. Well, it just so happens there was a huge.
This is kind of my point. Remember how I mentioned, I'm not one for calling creators stalkers, but sometimes, the exception to the rule happens, and at this point, I think that Constance Sue is Ernie's stalker.
Huge ass snowstorm, and nobody came to the event except the cops that agreed to work security,
hello, Troy.
The people that agreed to work for Ernie, and the wrestlers that agreed to be there, and a few people that were like diehard wrestling fans. So the show didn't have a good turnout. Had Ernie not been a dumbass and just rescheduled, he would have been fine, but he didn't. So he goes on with the show, and
no, he wouldn't be, because I live around here. Now, when I was a young little wrestler, they used to have big time wrestling in Mount Vernon. There's a barn that they converted into a 5,000 seat stadium now. But before then, it was just a barn arena with benches all in it like a high school. And they used to have wrestling there. And in reality, you were probably, this is when I was a kid, probably 100, 125 people best at one of those shows. So even in the day when wrestling was at its peak, it wouldn't have been enough to have paid 2 big time wrestlers.
He doesn't have the ticket, the money for the tickets coming in, so would have no money to pay him. Can you imagine being Ernie Shell and telling Diamond Dallas Page, if you only had to tell Diamond Dallas Page, could you imagine telling Diamond Dallas Page you didn't have the money? And you know what he told him? Oh, my debit card only has a $400 a day limit on it.
Well, this is kind of my point of doing this. If you and I were talking just in direct message right now, I would tell you that I am basically showing how irrelevant Constant Sue is and how stuck in the past she is. I mean, she's not being interesting or informing us anything we don't know. I mean, this is like telling us that Santa's supposed to come on December 25th. Now, he's supposed to come, right at the beginning of it. And when you wake up, there's supposed to be presents. I mean, this is like shit we all know.
Well, Ernie, people who could think, no, you should have had that money days before, not that night. So, and it was just right after Christmas.
I'm being grabbed.
So not only, I think it was right after Christmas, or right before Christmas, something. Officer Rose didn't get paid either. And the reason he agreed to do it is because he thought he'd just have the extra time and have it for Christmas. But no, they didn't get paid. But on another side note of that, while I was investigating this and I find Dallas Diamond Page, his YouTube page is now Diamond Dallas Page Yoga. So I got to looking at it. Diamond Dallas Page Yoga looks amazing. So we all know I have a fat ass. We all know I'm 54.
Hello, today.
I went to the doctor today, because I can't breathe. I don't know what the hell's wrong, but I can't breathe. I think it's my throat. My sister thinks it's my throat.
Okay. She's been to the doctor today and she can't breathe and she's here talking about Ernie. Now, for the record, if I ever have to go to the doctor because I can't breathe, the best you're going to get is going to be a YouTube community post saying I went to the doctor today and I need to take a few day break. In that situation, that's what I wouldn't be live talking about Ernie's shit from ages ago. I would just put up a community post saying, I went to the doctor, I'm taking a few day break. That would have been the extent of my YouTube.
But we're going to have I'm going to have my heart checked out the 27th, have the stress test. And as soon as I get the clearance, to do that, I'm going to start Diamond Dallas Page Yoga. He has all these older women, and it's amazing. Like, they can't grab their foot. By the end of his program, and it's reasonable, they can grab their foot and stretch it up above their head. And I'm telling you, I'm going to do that. So if anybody wants to do it with me, I don't know how we could do it to have a watch party. I don't want to screw Diamond Dallas Page, but I wish we could just pay one price and get the whole program, and then we could all do it if somebody wanted to do it. But I'm telling you, I'm going to do that.
Kitty's not going to.
I watched a testimonial on it last night. Wee Frosty said, "This day, remember when you were taking Ernie for a meeting with Cyber Task Force at base somewhere, Georgia? What actually happened to that on that day, please?" Oh, we'll have to hear that from Jimbo. Let me see. Invite. Copy. Did it copy? Copy. Okay, and then come down here, comments. James Foster said, DDP yoga helped my back a lot. My ex-girlfriend bought it, and I tan alongside her. Good stuff. Did you really, James? It looks amazing. I mean, they all make it look amazing, but I'm going to do it. I swear I'm going to do it. I went out and told my, air quote, husband. I was like, I showed him this older lady that was stretching her leg up like that.
Now, Rap, just to let you know, because of Carlos, I have everything here on basically approval. So it's not like anybody can see your bullshit from me, and it just costs you a quick sock account when I ban it.
I said, I'm going to do that. He
Dumbass.
just laughed at me, but it was hilarious. There's the link if you want to come up, Jimbo, and explain that. Oh, let me see. Where's the thing that says people are back here?
Well, take care, Amber.
Man, this is kind of technical. Banners.
Yes, Rap just tried to come in on a sock account. But of course, I have comments on approval.
Oh, I did put, can you hear me? Lord. Thank you. Well, I don't know where it pops up when you want to come backstage, so.
Hello, Pindar. Well, we weren't going to be here. This was a spur of the moment thing because what I was hearing, I thought needs to be disseminated a little bit because Constance Sue is pontificating about Ernie and she's trying to position herself as a pillar of knowledge. Yes, that would be the best way to frame this. She thinks she's a pillar of fact.
Mo said, have you seen the video that Dallas put out about it? Yes, I did. That was hilarious. It's a 5-part series. I'm going to see. I hope this doesn't end the stream, but let me try.
Ain't gonna do nothing but get your shit banned. And you have a little dick. Just saying to you.
Better. Now, guest. Invite guest. Copy. Ta-da.
Now, this will even hurt him worse because, see, Roger's been having adventures today. And Roger can't show you this, but Roger has a nice container with hashish in it. Yes, he does. I hope that'll really upset Cyanide Cupcake. Oh, God, this smells good. But yes, I got some nice blonde hashish right here. I got a few grams given to me today, and I'm going to make sure that they're all gone by morning. All the evidence will be incinerated. So I'm also telling you because don't be surprised when I hit this pipe if I cough my ass off.
More, post a comment. Now I can see if you want to come up. But yeah, can you imagine? And Ernie Shell says, that was, of course it wasn't his fault. No. Of course it wasn't his fault. It was, he had a booking agent. The booking agent ran off.
Well, actually, Nicolene, it's like, you know, in real life, I wish I could like whip mine out right now. And he's basically saying, oh, shit. He's got that one for kids. Yes. Mini player is off videos made for kids. So yes, that was his children's content. Oh man. Who else? What else? Anything interesting on? Because Constance Sue's different. Oh my God, Constance Sue is still running her mouth. I mean, we were like 25 minutes behind in her live. And we just played about 10 minutes of Melton. So, I mean, 35 minutes more. And she is still running her mouth. Okay, it must have stopped because now it's not showing as her live. Okay, thank God. Apparently she just stopped, evidently. And let me refresh. Okay, yeah, when I refreshed, apparently she stopped finally. Oh, there's Ernie's channel. He's got all his subscribers back. Now he's got his live from an hour or 2 days ago, which is an hour long, and it's only music. So I guess he's only got lives up with music. And I'm not really interested in that. If he had something else interesting, we would cover it just for something else. But I mean, goddamn, they're boring as hell. that Rap gets a wellness check called on himself and he wants to pretend people's going to jail. He pretends he's got detectives. I mean, I grew up on Vine Street in Cincinnati. Every day growing up, I walked outside, and every day I could be killed. I mean, that was my reality growing up. Every day, I went out into the world and risked death where I used to live in the neighborhood I grew up. And they think that their YouTube fear mongering is going to scare me or you're going to jail. You know, when I was growing up, we had the Cincinnati Workhouse. Now, you've seen the Cincinnati Workhouse. You don't know you've seen the Cincinnati Workhouse, but you did. You remember all those old Sylvester Stallone jail films that had that horrible hellhole of a jail? That looked like hell itself if you made it into a jail. That was the Cincinnati Workhouse. If I got busted as a young Roger, as a criminal, when I was doing horrible things, that was the jail I was going to go to. The same one from all those 1980s prison movies. That was our jail. And for like 5 or 6 years after they shut down the jail, they still filmed there. And then they leveled the place. And that's why you don't see it in movies anymore. Oh, no, Genius. I'm in deep shit for what? For what? I mean, I listened to that call, and even if I was guilty, all it sounded like to me was a wellness check. I've never heard of anyone ever going to jail for a wellness check. So there you go. And like I said, Kentucky doesn't extradite. Unless I chop someone up in another state, Kentucky is never going to extradite me. I mean, in all reality, unless it's a capital crime, they're not going to extradite you over bullshit in Kentucky. Now, once again, I since then have listened to the supposed call, and the first thing that you notice, they say that you have ever said 911 call. Well, I never heard anyone say 911 anywhere during that. So it wasn't a 911 call. And it obviously was a wellness check. Nobody's ever gone to jail over a wellness check. So, lie more. And Judith, you too just managed to get your ass banned here, so you might as well unsubscribe. Now, before I go any further, does anybody else lurking want to say something stupid and get banned? Like I said, I grew up every day of my life. For the first 28 years of my life, I could be murdered on any given day. And there was many days that people tried that. I have had people drive by spraying bullets trying to kill me on multiple occasions. And you think that you're going to type something in a chat that is going to make me scared. I'm not scared of a cop with a gun. Because the fact of the matter is, if it comes down to life or death, I don't care if the other guy's got a gun, I'm going to win. Now, once again, growing up where I've done, I have played the game of Get the Gun. I mean, it's a rousing game. I mean, it's more fun than a roller coaster if you live. So, but once again, it's funny. All these normies think that they're going to type something on the internet and make me scared, or you better get home for your cats. I got news for you. These cats, if you tried to touch Rachella, she would eat your fucking face. My ex-girlfriend couldn't get within 60 fucking feet of Summer. I mean, they look tame to you. Now, 2 cats here that could be touched. Well, 3, thinking about it. Abaddon. You could, after a little bit, you could touch Abaddon on the head and give him a little pettings. Now, Winter, with a little feeling out time and you sitting down, you could probably get to where you could pet her on the head. And Tiger would take a pet or two. Now, once again, Tiger being the old alpha, if you tried to pick Tiger up, he would eat you fucking up. Now, when I first started having seizures, I slept in my car. I didn't smoke pot then for the seizures. And I would take the seatbelt, and that's how I would sleep. I would lean back the seat. And we had, what day was that? It was March 1st, 2016. I can even tell you the day. A cop out here had a checkpoint. And this pig, and he was a pig, came on my property to harass me while I'm sleeping in my car. He has 2 police dogs and comes down my road with his 2 goddamn police dogs on my private property. Well, I have a barbed wire fence over here on one side of the road and a picket fence on the other side. Tiger went through that picket fence. This is in the middle of the night, about 2 a.m. He hit those dogs right in the side, both police dogs. Those dogs' leashes got mixed up in the barbed wire on the fence over here to the other side. And Tiger beat the living fuck out of both of those police dogs. I mean, severely beat the fuck out of both of those police dogs. And the cop was swinging at Tiger like this. And Tiger jumped up, reached a hold, and got a hold of that fucking cop. And you heard that cop fucking scream the top of his fucking lungs. And for about a second and a half, there's a 30-pound cat attached to his arm. And he slings it off. Tiger drops down and went right back to beating the fuck out of his dogs. Now, this continued for some time with that cop screaming and kicking at my cat, and then my cat beating the fuck out of his police dogs. Now, finally, the dogs got disentangled and ran down the road back towards the police car, and the cop had to go chasing them. This was March 1st, 2016. Well, the cop gets the dogs. He gets them in the car. Then he gets on his speaker and starts shrieking at me where I'm trying to sleep in my car, where I'm watching all of this through a rear view mirror go on. Because we got like street lights in the distance, so I'm catching all of this looking in shadow, watching all this happen. And that's why I know that Tiger was hanging from his hand, because you could see the shadow of the cat, hanging on his hand for about a second and a half before he managed to get him off. And he starts shrieking at me. And then the neighbor lady comes out on her deck and starts screaming at the cops, "You leave him alone. He has seizures and he sleeps in his car." And because there was a witness at that point, that cop tucked his tail between his legs and went away. Now, once again, okay, thank you, Pindar. Because I was about to say, make sure they're both hidden. So I was just double checking that because anybody that wants to mouth off here gets blocked tonight. I mean, I don't get paid for YouTube. So you see, unlike Rap, I have no financial incentive to lie or create bullshit like he does. And Jimbo. And no, I'm not going to jail. Have a nice day. You can fantasize it all you want. But no, I'm not going to jail. And in the statute of limitations on all my crimes in Kentucky has passed, which means I can go to jail for nothing in Kentucky. And Ohio's laws are fucked up. And anything I've ever done there, I can never be held accountable for. I even talked to a police captain once about it. And I said, well, what if I got guilty and pressed the issue? And the worst thing that could be happened is I get arrested for a disorderly conduct charge for not going away. And I kind of found that amusing. But yes, I have to laugh. But, Tiger's not vicious, but he knew those dogs were here to do wrong, and they have to worry about coyotes here. Now, these police dogs, they're trained against humans, but they evidently don't train them at all against a cat. But in reality, my cats don't really have to have me. I mean, I could be gone for 3 months, and the cats would be just fine. I would just have to put them outside. I mean, Summer was a wild kitten. I mean, she is wild as fuck. Now think about it. No human being other than me has ever touched Summer. Just to let you know. And thinking about it, so far, no human being has touched Rochella other than me. And thinking about it, other than only a few of my cats probably have ever had a human being touch them. Now, my older cats, when they were little, a guy named Cody, his daughters used to like to chase my kitties around. So, when they were young, my older ones might have got pet by Cody's little girls. I don't know, because we would go outside and smoke, and we'd just let them do their thing with the kitties. But that was back when, my old cats were still with under a year old back then. So, this has been ages ago. But yeah, I mean, my cats are wild as fuck. I mean, all my older cats, their mother were all wild. I mean, I hardly get to see Satin. I mean, I worry about her all the time. Now, Gingy knows about this because I told her. I went the other night and looked for her for 2.5 hours and couldn't find her. I hadn't seen her in days. And then I found her at the barn, hunting. And then it went more days and I couldn't find her at all. So I went and I looked for her again. Same thing, never found her. And then I came in the house and she was sitting right next to the food bowl. And it's been about 2 more days since I have seen her. So I have only seen the cat about 2 times in 2 weeks. Because like I say, and most of my cats right now, who's in? It looks like Summer's in. It looks like Fulgrim is in. Rochella's in. Excuse me. And Rochella's father is in, though he's a wildcat, and I really don't want him to be in. So, looking through the rest of the house, yeah, I mean, it's not okay. There's another kitty. No, that one's Fulgrim. And then Summer's over here in the box. So yeah, those are the only cats that I've got in here. And, I've got a dozen of my own, and of my own, there's only 3 in here. The other 9 are all outside. They all do outside things. They hunt the fence rows. I mean, Attila will go away for a week hunting rabbits. And what he'll do is he'll just go down the fence rows and he'll just keep going. And he'll catch rabbits as he goes, and he'll live his life, and then he'll work his way back. So, I mean, now Richella here, I mean, she's a princess. I mean, she's definitely a princess, but she's a mouse catcher too. I mean, when I used to go away, when went to Philadelphia, I'd leave for 8 days, and food would be put down for them once when I left. Someone would stop by about 4 days later and put down more food for them. And they took care of themselves. When Karen came out here, I checked in on the cats a couple times. But other than that, I spent 8 days at a hotel in Somerset. But you see, everyone thinks that people's going to scare me. Now, let me hit you with a bit of reality. I've lost in the last 15 years, I have lost 2 cats to poisonous snakes. So the reality of the matter is, Roger is going to worry about poisonous snakes. And I'm not going to worry about YouTube trying to scare me about my kitties. I mean, we've got real dangers out here. Snakes. Thor, he was Sissy's older brother. And he looked like Sissy, but big and muscular and boy. And he got bit by a snake in Coram. That used to be Summer's boyfriend. It was Tyranny's boy. It was Magnus's half brother. No, actually, that was Magnus's whole brother because they had the same father. Yeah, that was Magnus's full brother, Coram. And I lost him too to a snake. And that's been since I did YouTube. That one happened. Now, Thor, he got bit by a snake before I did YouTube. Coram got bit by a snake while I used to do YouTube. And so once again, they think they're going to scare me. I'm desensitized to fear. Where I grew up, I don't feel fear. And it's funny to me, all these idiots on YouTube that think they're going to make me scared. I mean, they just project that they're fearful creatures when they do that. When they do that, that's all I see. It's like, those are a scared person. Once again, I mean, back in the day, I could have went to jail forever, in a horrible jail. And they think that, once again, listening to that supposed tape, no one said 911. Nowhere on it. And it didn't accuse them of doing anything horrible. That was a wellness check. That's all it was. A wellness check. So basically, Rap grifted money because he got a wellness check. But I don't care. They're crappy people. I mean, take them for every fucking dime they got. That's what I have to say about it. Because they're shitty people, and if Rap wants to take $1 million from them, whatever. Now, I don't see Prissy Penny Pincher in here. if Prissy Penny Pincher's in here, eject her forever. Just saying, but I thought I had her blocked. Now I gotta move my kitty because I hate to move you, honey, but I'm gonna have to sit you somewhere else because I love you and all, but can you wake up, baby? Can you wake up and move? My problem with Richella, my leg where she's been laying on it hurts. And I'm trying to get her up. And you see it don't work. You know, when you try to move her or something, it just don't work. But you could never do this. I mean, you could never touch this cat on the head. Couldn't you, honey? You could never touch the kitty on the head. But, you know, that's where I kind of always think that it's funny that people try to scare me. Or one of them said, like, I'm going to come and kill your cats. I mean, these cats would eat you fucking up. Oh, well, I don't care what Jimbo says. Now, Jimbo, I ever see I'm going to beat the fuck out of you. Because you came after me with a gun. And in fact, if I ever see Hunter, whoever was in that vehicle with you that day, if I ever see him, I'm going to beat the fuck out of him. Just saying. And this is what I do want to know with Ernie. Was Ernie in the vehicle that day? Because anybody that was in that vehicle has pasted a target on their forehead because when I see you, I will fuck you up. Like it is my ritual. And anything that's a threat to my life, I will take out. Because, see, Jimbo, I did real things in the world where you laid on top of men pretending you were a tough guy. I used to scare the living hell out of tough guys. Just saying. Now, excuse me, kitty, but since Jimbo's here, I want to get high because I can, and he can kiss my ass and stuff. Because once again, I was with my thuggish friends today, and we went to the grocery. Yes, we did, and a nice lady is letting me use her bathroom facilities whenever I want to, Jimbo. And she's, well, less than half my age, Jimbo. Now, of course, she's double the age you like. You know, she might be half my age, but she's double the age at least that you like. So, you know, I'm sorry, Jimbo, but, you know, I can't set you up because I think she's about 24 to 26. So she may be half my age, but you know, she's 2 times the age that you, so, you know, for you, she's an old woman. Well, then he can ask me for forgiveness and I will just hit Jimbo twice as much. Put it that way. But yeah, Jimbo, I mean, now, once again, we can agree on a time to meet at Mount Vernon. Just saying. But I know that you can't. Because, one, you physically couldn't do it. Because I am almost 55, Jimbo. And I physically am a fucking beast. Yes, I am, Jimbo. You know, once again, YouTube does not quite show my physical parameters. I'm almost 6 foot tall. I'm about 205 pounds of almost all muscle. Yes. And once again, I have engaged in life and death combat against my fellow man. Now, I do hope that you try to put a gun in my face one day. I hope for this. Because everyone that ever did it, I got that gun away from them. So once again, I pray to God you do. Because if you ever do, and I get that gun, I get to use it. Because you see, that was one of the thug rules. Never pull a weapon that you do not want to be on the battlefield. Because even many times when I was in a knife fight, I had a gun. But what's the fun in that? Now, you see, this is the difference between me and you, Jimbo. You get your gratitude off trying to intimidate people, where I like combat. As I said, I grew up in Cincinnati on Vine Street. It was like growing up in fucking Beirut. I mean, walking around your neighborhood, you had end of the world vibes. I mean, destroyed building, rubble, burnout places. I mean, when I grew up, it had a very end of the world vibe. And no one really believed that anything was going to last at 2000. Now, I remember 1990 really well, when you married your little 12-year-old. I mean, because, see, I was a man, and when I was 17, I worked at a grade school, because, see, I worked and went to school. I had a janitor job. And there were 12-year-old girls around there, and they were like this to me. I mean, they came up to my fucking stomach. And I couldn't imagine looking at any of them and think, oh God, she's a hottie. I mean, at 17-year-old, they look like nothing but little children to me, but you're a kitty fucker. I mean, that's what you are, Jimbo. You are a rapist of children. And I can prove that in court. And if I ever get into court with you, I'm going to prove that in court that you're a kitty rapist. And I'm going to laugh as I do it. And then whatever happens after that, the jury would definitely find for me. You know, after we go through your background information, I mean, you're fucking stupid. I mean, your best bet is to get out of town. Let's be honest. That is probably your wisest move to this point, but your problem now is felony is on probation, which you put her there. I have never in my life bounced a check. And I had a checking account as a teenager. And I never once bounced a check. I never once said I would have the money and not have the money. Because one way or another, you know, I kept my word. Now, see, once again, you can't do that. Now, I do get bonuses over with you because, once again, you're just some fucking cruddy pill dealer that basically blackmails pillheads into doing what he wants. I'm not into pillheads. Matter of fact, if you said, Roger, you have to date one of these two people, the pillhead or a meth head, I would take the meth head every time. Because you can get the meth head off of meth, but you will not get the pill head off of pills. And that's the sad reality. So yes, so someone asked me, what's worse, a pill head or a meth head? I would tell you that a pill head is worse every time. And that's the crowd that Jimbo hangs out with. Now, the other interesting thing is, Jimbo, what are you going to do when I start putting all this shit about Josh Shanks out? It's going to get pretty fucking humiliating for you, you stupid bitch. It is. Because everyone here is separated by one human being. And mine and your being is Josh Shanks. Because where I make fun of the McCoys make fun of Josh Shanks. Because now, Jimbo, you're gonna want to hit that button real quick, because felony is cheating with a fucking buffoon. Josh Shanks around here is known as a utter fucking buffoon. Your wife is cheating on you with the local buffoon. Now, this is something that I know that I've been nice enough not to bring to YouTube. I've been saving this for a special occasion. But yes, so every now and then when you're not expecting it, I'm going to have fun little tidbits that I'm going to break out about Josh Shanks. Now, when one of my buddies gets out of jail, I'll have a whole extra segments on Josh Shanks. But the person that I wish to talk to about it is currently residing in a detention center. Just saying. Well, Max, I got everything on, approval here, so no one sees when you say dumbass shit, and then you just get hidden by Pindar. I have to laugh about it all. But anyone that wants to can get a fight with me in Mount Vernon. I'll be more than happy to do 90 days. Just saying. That's where someone says, you're going to jail, you're going to jail. Well, I got news for you. Because I've already said that if I see X person, I'm going to fuck him up. I've already got my animals taken care of for 90 days if I do 3 months. For a big fight. Yep. Once again, more than happy now. Once again, there's Kentucky, there's called fighting words. And Jimbo's went far beyond those fighting words. So that's where they would consider it mutually consensual combat. Just saying. But like I said, I can do 90 days standing on my fucking head. I'm a professional criminal at one time. When we would meet my old buddies, the first thing we do to talk about other people is we ask, are they in or are they out? Meaning, are they in jail or are they out of jail? Well, see, Pindar, remember what I always say about masks? Masks fall off. And with Ashley, you're seeing the real Ashley. She wants to suck up to those other people so badly. We just had big lightning. Hear that, everyone? We got a bolt of lightning and thunder. Damn it, Ernie, where are you? We just had, now I got a window here, and there was just like a giant streak of lightning across the sky. Funny thing, it's not supposed to rain. But yes, we have had a thunder strike go across the sky. Now, Jimbo, see, I have a mask. When I wish to put on a mask, I can put on a mask. Now, I do rather like my mask rather than Raph's mask because, one, my mask is cool. Two, his is a fucking marshmallow. Why do you have a mask with a marshmallow? At least I have a nice smile. But yes, Jimbo, if you ever want to schedule your ass whipping, we can do that. I've already made my arrangements to where I can spend 3 months in jail. I've got quite a bit of cat food here. Just saying. Well, actually, Teresa, I don't doubt that. Let me check my weather real quick. Pindar, I'll watch the chat for just a second. Yes, it is coming raining upon us. Earlier it didn't say it was going to rain, but evidently it is decided I see what it was. They probably had it figured the rain was going to go around us, and it didn't. It went over us. Because yes, I'm about to have a thunderstorm. It says 2 a.m. thunderstorm, 60% chance. And then 3 a.m., 90% chance of rain. Fuck. Well, I screwed up. Well, I did make a mistake today. Yes, I did. I made a mistake. Now, you know what sucks, Pindar? Remember how I said it wasn't supposed to rain? You remember what showed up here today? I didn't set it up because it wasn't supposed to rain until next week. But yes, it was supposed to rain near us and it was supposed to go around us. But one of you guys sent me a lovely thing to catch water in. And it came today. And I didn't set it up for one reason, because we weren't supposed to have any rain for another 4 or 5 days. But they have now changed the forecast, and there's going to be a big storm upon me. And if I had got that set up, I would have at least 100 gallons of fresh water. But, you know, they got the forecast wrong, so I didn't do that because it wouldn't have been any problem, because I worked on my garden instead. Because I have to dig a bunch of dirt from my garden. You know, I didn't want to just sit all day, and so I thought do it 3 hours here, 3 hours there. But yes, rather than work in my garden, I would have definitely set up that catch basin today. But yeah, it's actually in a box like this. So I've got to set it up properly, and it's probably going to take an hour, I figure, to put it together. But had I known it was going to rain for sure, well, like I said, they said it wasn't going to rain here at all, but apparently it is blowing over us, and now it's going to rain here. So, oh well, I got other stuff that'll be catching water. Well, Gingy, I'll be okay. I mean, I was at the store today and I got almost $300 in staple shit at Save-A-Lot. I mean, I did get a lot of stuff. Now, it's getting hard to find cat food. Huh. We might be stopping this live in the next minute because there's more lightning going across the sky. So I wouldn't doubt if my net goes out at some point, or we might have the power out. Because we're starting to get a real big thunderstorm come in. I'm hearing it, you know, from a distance now. But yes, I have a big thunderstorm coming in. Now, if you don't see me on YouTube at all tomorrow, you'll know that we had a really big thunderstorm. But yes, all my bills are paid up, fortunately, and we didn't get to talk about it, Pindar. We were talking about other things, but my electric bill wasn't bad. Now, my store bill was worse than I thought. So what I thought I was going to spend extra on electric, I ended up spending on food. Well, yes, Sunbeat. She's just nothing more than a fake Christian. You know, the thing is Jimbo only pretends to be a Christian when he wants to be not accountable for something. I mean, if I do something, I'll say it. You know, just like I said, Jimbo, since you tried to threaten me with a gun, if I see you, I'm going right through you. Right then. You best be ready for it, because I see you, I'm coming right at you like a bolt of fucking lightning. And any weapon that's put on the field, we'll get to use it. Just saying. So, you know, once again, this town is not going to be big enough for the both of us. You know, I'm hardwired that way. As I said, I grew up on Cincinnati, on Vine Street. We don't play that shit. My problems ended up in the river. Now it's pouring the rain here, everyone. So we're going to go at this because I'm hearing thunder boom after thunder boom. Now the bright point is the power place is from where the rain is coming. So I really don't think that I will lose power, but you know, you never know where one of these lightning bolts is going to hit. Well, no. See, this is got to be agreed on. You don't get to pick everything. We discuss this. Now, I was in Mount Vernon today. Now, I'll be Mount Vernon next month. He might get the shot then if he wishes to speak of it. But you see, he's a pussy and wouldn't show up anyway. I already know that. Because the fact of the matter is, Jimbo couldn't take me on his best fucking day. I do all my laundry by hand. I mean, I could probably dislocate your shoulder by pulling on it. All I gotta do is put my foot in the right spot, an arm here, an arm there, pull out and twist. You know, as I said, I've done some horrible things back when I lived in Cincinnati and was a young man. No, yeah, that's what I said. You know, you can discuss. Now, it would be in Mount Vernon, at the park in Mount Vernon, because see, they have cameras all over that park. That way, if anyone pulls a gun, they're going to jail, whatever happens. So, like I said, I was right down there just this afternoon. And I also got a few $100s of food in Mount Vernon. And then I came back here, did farm work, and then I slept the afternoon, well, the evening. And then I got up. And I'm enjoying my life. And I'm enjoying the fruits of my labor. And I have a gram of hashish right here that I'm going to smoke too. Because God loves me. And in the next 5 minutes, all the evidence will be gone. Just saying. Now, once again, too, I mean, you know, I'm big about setting my enemies up. So that's something all of my enemies will always have to worry about, is me setting them up. Now, I'm pretty good at that. Now, this is the part of me that I don't like. Now, see, Jimbo, I mean, he really can't say that because Jimbo likes all of his parts. I mean, when it comes down to it, if I have to, I can be absolutely, positively, totally ruthless. I mean, I don't like that part about myself. Now, it is very efficient, but I really don't like that have to be utterly ruthless part. Something went. Okay. Night. Well, I'm going to go here in a minute because, I mean, we're out here right now. You know, you don't hear all the thunder booms, but I'm sitting here out of one corner of my eye. I've got a lightning show. Now, I'm on the corner of this rain. It's not all over me because, like I said, this was supposed to go around me. So out in my distant view, I mean, it is just an amazing light show. It looks like Livingston, Kentucky is getting nailed right now. Because you see, Jimbo, I live in a magical place. Yes, where I can see so much from where I live. Yes, Berea, Mount Vernon, Livingston, London, Somerset. I mean, I am very conveniently located. Now, you supposedly have my number. I mean, or you have my address. You could drive down that road right now. Now, I would annihilate you if you did. You know, we won't pretend because anyone that comes down that road that won't supposed to be, I will annihilate them with gladness. Or that nice lady that I mentioned earlier, or she will annihilate them with gladness. She's a good shot too. I mean, really. Because see, here they got some birds they like to get rid of. So that's how I can say she's a pretty good shot. I mean, I'd be willing to have her shoot something standing next to me. I'd have no fear in that. Oh, that's cute. Richella got off of me and she went over here and laid with her mother in a box. Summer, this whole life, is laying in a cardboard box. And Richella, she went over there and is laid right next to her mother, right next to the cardboard box. You know, it's a small one, kind of low like this. And she's kind of up next to Summer and kind of in the box and out of the box. Oh, do we have another dummy? Toe wakes. Now, what he don't understand, before they had this Dollar General that I walked 10 miles to, I used to have to walk to Mount Vernon. I can walk to Mount Vernon in 6 hours. Yep. In fact, I can walk to Somerset in 7 hours. Let's see. Eubank probably 6 to 7. No, I take that back. Because I left at midnight that one night, and I got there at 5 a.m. I can walk to Eubank in 5 hours. You know, sitting here thinking about that. Now, once again, to get to Route 39 is 3 turns. Yes. Yep. And then let me see. 80 is also 3 turns. Yes, 80 is also 3 turns. Because you see, 39 intersects with 80. And it goes straight to London, Kentucky. And it just so happens that there's a YouTuber that's just right off of that road. Yes. So, yes, I have to laugh at that. Now, we actually, it keeps catching my eye, but we are having a wonderful thunderstorm. Now, I wish that I did, because I've kind of got the shades down most of the way, and they're kind of creeped up so I could see if anyone was creeping around. And that's where I'm kind of looking at the lightning from. But if I had those shades up, I'd just turn this camera around and we'd sit and show you that for a while. So yeah, and like I say, you know, I've got access to shower facility now whenever I want it. And if I wasn't digging that dirt tomorrow, I would go down there for a shower tomorrow. Now, we're having a rain here, so I'll be able to clean up as much as I want tomorrow. It won't be no big deal. It was over 70 degrees here today, and it's going to be 65 tomorrow. And you see, Jimbo, I'm making a nice garden, a nice container garden, and I'm going to grow my own food. Now, what are you going to do, Jimbo, when you can't get housing, free housing, because you got the one girl, and after she's 18, you're not going to get any more HUD vouchers anymore. So to let everyone else know, Jimbo's going to try to get a kid in the house. He has to do that before his daughter gets to 18. Otherwise, he'll have to pay his own rent. And we know Jimbo isn't about paying his own way. No, we know he's about scamming on it and laying on muscular men. Well, actually, I boiled my water here for years. I mean, that's not a problem. I mean, I can live a natural lifestyle. In fact, I'm much more healthier than you are because dealing with a lot of the natural bacteria out of living with nature, I don't get sick like you do. Nope. Because any infection that comes in, my immune system's already ready to fight it. Now, drinking rainwater for the first 3 days, you will get the runs a little bit. And then after that, your body completely adjusts to it. It's not a problem. How you doing, honey? Why don't you come here? Let the crowd see you. Come here, honey. Come here. Looking at your sister? Come on. Let's show everybody your prettiness. Let's show your prettiness. Richella's brother. Richella's litter mate, Fulgrim. Him beautiful boy. He would eat you up, wouldn't you, honey? Because I've never been touched by another human. Hasn't him? Because him's never been touched by another person. Now, the thing of the matter is, he would be friendly for a while. I mean, if you were around him for a while, you then could pet him. Now, my other ones, no, you wouldn't. You know, other than the ones I already mentioned, but him's a good boy. Aren't you, honey? Him's a good boy. I don't know if you heard that one, but that thunder was big that time. But that sounded like it was north of me. But yes, this is my good boy, isn't it, honey? Him's a good kid, eh? He's almost a year and a half. Him and Richella are still babies, really. You know, they're not fully grown adults. So he's going to get a lot bigger. But yeah, they're just about to turn a year and a half old. Aren't you? Now, you see, God, for most Christians today, there are God-fearing people. There are Christian people. But the reality is they're the exception to the rule. Most of them are Christian rocks. There's nothing special about them. They're pretend Christians. And Kentucky is full of pretend Christians. Now, I have met three. I have met three people that I would say that person is a Christian and a good Christian, and they obey the word of God. 3. Now, out of the rest of Kentucky, the rest of them are nothing more than fake Christians. But there were 3 I have met here since I've lived here that I will say are very, very good Christian individuals. The rest of them are absolutely jokes. They're only Christians when it comes to they fucked up or they want something. Yeah, I mean, in Cincinnati, in Ohio, what Jimbo did with his first wife and Thelony, they would have put him under the fucking jail. They would have put him in the workhouse and they would have got rid of him. You know, once again, I grew up in a brutal culture. There were rules. And with what Jimbo did, they would have annihilated Jimbo. I mean, in the Cincinnati workhouse, he wouldn't have got out. Yeah, they would have put him in for his time, and they would know when they put him in that he was going to die. Now, once again, you know, I understand the rules, and this is also where I have things funny. I mean, it's like, anytime that I went to jail, I know people. You know, like when I was falsely arrested, the first time, you know, all you got to do is talk for a little while and you find the person that you're separated from. You know, and you have common things to talk about. Now, the second time I was falsely arrested, you know, old Greg, he was in holding. You know, going to host like, "Hi, Greg. I didn't know you were here." I mean, this is where I have to laugh at the fucking normies. I mean, seriously. I'm getting love. You see, he's got his paws up here. This is his love position. Yes, this, when he wants love, this is what he does. He'll put his paws up on me. He'll sit right up on me like this. And he'll want me to sit here like this and pet his little head. And this is why he needs his own person. It'd probably take a couple weeks for him to warm up to him. But after he would warm up to someone, this is what he wants. He's like, love me. Now, the thing is Jimbo can stream me petting my cat. Yeah, right, honey. Stream me petting the kitty. You never see Jimbo petting an animal. Matter of fact, only one thing I ever saw Jimbo do with an animal, and that was run it over. Yes, I have only seen Jimbo do one thing with an animal on YouTube, and it was run it over. That's funny as fuck thinking about it. Not if you're the dog, but you know, I'm as objective humor. You know, I pet the cat and on YouTube and he runs over the dog. Good night, Teresa. Well, we're going to go in a minute. You know, because like I say, we're having a bad thunderstorm here and I'm tempting the devil with this on right now. Another thunder boomer. But yeah, that's what I'm just thinking. It's funny because that was one of the first times I watched Jimbo. You know, hits the dog and I'm expecting him to, you know, stop. But no, they just went on. I mean, just run over the dog and go on. And that's the moment that told me exactly what Jimbo was. An utter pile of garbage. I mean, at that moment of Jimbo running on the dog and trying to downplay it and just going on, that's right when I knew all that I needed to know about Jimbo. Now, at that time, I didn't know about the kids that he molested. Because he was. I mean, you were fucking Velma at 15. That is not of age in Kentucky. No ands, no ifs or buts. You are a molester, Jimbo, and I can prove it in court. So with that, we will get off of here, and I will continue to pet my kitty. I will watch the thunderstorm. I will charge my devices. I'm going to smoke the rest of this bowl, and I'm going to have a wonderful night. Now, I will see you tomorrow. I hear thunder. God's talking about you, Jimbo, and he is pissed. Now, everyone, have a good night, and I'll see you all later.